there's this rumor that the certain factions of our government have alien vehicles that they've reverse engineered.
To some degree, yes. They're not necessarily as sophisticated as you might think.
Okay. And that they actually go out and do contact to make it look like it's extraterrestrials.
Sometimes some programs like that have been experimented with. Again, not as often as you think.
The question I have is, if you have an encounter, how can you tell the difference between an actual ET versus a government impersonator?
Oh, you'll know the difference. It's in the energy. This doesn't mean that you won't be feeling fear in an ET encounter, but it's a very different kind of energy because the fear is coming from your own negative belief systems about your relationship to what's going on. And you can begin to sense, if you stay calm, and in a loving state, you will be capable of discerning exactly who you're dealing with.
Okay, because that's interesting because one of the supposed intents behind their program is to stoke fear.
I understand, but remember that they're not as powerful as they would like you to believe they are. And in fact, their greatest tactic is getting you to believe they're more powerful than they are. So information is their chief tactic, to get you to think that they can do all sorts of things that they can't actually really do, so that you will be in fear and be under their control, because you're giving them your power by buying into the mythology that they're wrapping themselves in, that they're more powerful than they are. You understand how this works?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right, so
don't give in to the fear.
Okay.
Is that what you prefer to experience?
The fear, no.
Well, then it doesn't much matter really what they choose to do, because if you're on a different vibratory plane, you can't be affected by whatever it is they choose to do anyway. So who cares?
Okay.
Let them play their game. They're playing it on a planet that's different than the one that you live on. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are many parallel realities going on all around you. Choose the one you prefer. You can observe what you don't prefer, but you can observe it neutrally. Just because you observe something you don't prefer doesn't mean it has to affect you unless you agree to be affected. Correct?
Okay.
So think about that and choose the vibrational state you prefer while you might be neutrally observing the little games that others might be trying to play. And see them for what they are. Immature games. Games based on fear-based beliefs. That has nothing to do with the world that you prefer, correct?
Correct.
Then there you go. Does this help you?
Yes, thank you. And my wife and I will be out tonight, so we hope to see your ship.
Well, you can just keep hoping.
All right, thank you very much.
And we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
And a you good day.
A lot of us here would like to meet our star family soon, like within 2 years. When
My, what a calendar you have.
when do you think we can meet them?
When the timing is appropriate.
Thank you.
Not before, but not later then. Don't focus on the time. Focus on the timing by working on being yourself as fully as you can, acting on your highest passion, raising your frequency to become the person with whom such a meeting would be more appropriate. Yes?
Yes, makes
That's
sense.
how you determine the timing. It's not about the time, it's about the timing. So when the timing is appropriate, things like that can happen. Does that help?
It does, thank you.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Now, we have said and still perceive that a general window in which more open contact can begin to occur is still the window of your years 2025 to 2033. That's the highest probability window in which the beginnings of open contact can most likely begin to occur. So sometime in that window, to some degree, depending upon where any individual is at with the idea of having those kinds of encounters, it will determine where you fall in that window.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. I also would like some kind of confirmation.
Oh, all right. You are confirmed. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Kiss my ring.
I will. There we go. Thank you for that. Several years ago, probably starting in around maybe 2012, I had started seeing several things that such as I would like take pictures with my phone and I would see something that wasn't there.
Well, but it is there, obviously.
Yeah. So is this like parallel realities?
Doesn't mean it's not there just because you can't see it.
Sure, but I could see it through like a cell phone.
Yes, we understand.
And other
with the
people
aid of
could
your
too.
technology.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that like a parallel reality, or is that a different
it
dimension?
can again be many things.
Yeah.
That's the simplest answer, and in a sense, generally true, since anything that you would consider to be not quite part of your reality would be generally a parallel reality. But yes, it can be many things. It can be spirit. It can be literally seeing someone in a parallel reality. It can be the idea of a projection of consciousness from another dimensional level. It can be something you would equate to a ship in energetic form. It can be many different kinds of things. You have to take it kind of on a case-by-case basis, depending on the circumstance.
Okay. And also, in the same sense, at that time, I was living in, say, the Bay Area, California.
The Bay Area, California.
Yes.
You
And
said to say that.
I was living in the Bay Area.
Oh, all right.
I no longer live there. But if I look at people's posts on, say, Facebook,
Yes.
and I could see in their posts, I could still see things that I guess normally other people wouldn't see.
All right, all right. Look,
So-
this is the natural evolution of your senses going into fourth density. You will start to see things, first perhaps sometimes with the aid of your technology to kickstart you, but you will start to see things with your senses, hear things with your senses, and so on and so forth, that are all around you all the time, but are usually invisible to you when you exist only on a certain level of frequency. But as you raise your vibration, your senses become more acute. You're capable of perceiving things that exist around you that are heretofore invisible. This is a natural part of the evolution of the raising of your frequency of consciousness. So get used to it.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Also, I'm probably not going to pronounce it right, but Nebulu? It's a.
You're talking about Nibiru?
There you go. Yes.
Yes.
What does that have to do, or the relation? What is that going to happen with us anytime soon?
No.
No, it's not.
No.
Okay. Very good. Perfect. Thank you very much.
You are revisiting the idea that it represents energetically in terms of realizing and awakening to your connection to the ancient extraterrestrials you refer to as the Anu or Anunnaki. Being that you contain their genetics because they were responsible for transforming Homo erectus, Homo habilis into Homo sapien with their own genes. Do you understand?
I think so.
There is a naturally evolved hominid on your planet. It grew naturally on your planet, and there were several branches of this hominid. The extraterrestrial beings that visited your world that were looking for helpers for a certain task actually decided to infuse some of their genetics into one branch of those naturally evolved hominids to create Homo sapiens to be more like them so they could communicate with you and basically tell you what they needed you to do. Now, this was not necessarily an approved thing by all of the Anunnaki. And so eventually they were told they needed to leave and leave you to evolve on your own as a truly sentient species. Nevertheless, you are now awakening to the fact that you do contain some of that genetic material. Those markers are opening, and you're experiencing more of the qualities that the Anunnaki themselves originally had. So you are revisiting the concept of Nibiru as a cycle, but the body, the physical body itself, is nowhere near your planet at this point.
Very good. Thank
Does
you
that
so
help
much.
you?
Yes, it does.
By the way, once again, a reminder, had they not tinkered with your genetic material back then and created Homo sapien, the branch they did not tinker with went on to evolve into what you call Sasquatch. That's the natural evolution of the hominid on your planet. And had they not tinkered with you, you would all be Sasquatch. You understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, had they not tinkered with you, you also would not have evolved the concept of religion in the way that you did. You would simply have, as you're rediscovering, a concept of a natural relationship to creation rather than intermediaries. It was because many of them made you believe they were gods and allowed you to worship them that the entire basis of religion was created on your planet. You wouldn't have it if it wasn't for their existence in your lives back then, about 500, 300,000 years ago. Yes, it is. And again, we're talking holographic history, because there are many versions of this. You are evolving to a point where you will have a version that will serve you in the best possible way, which is one of the reasons why, when open contact actually does occur, one of the gifts you will be given is what you might think of as your true history on Earth. All of it. All the missing pieces. Everything. And then you will get to decide which parts you relate to and how you can allow yourself to be the people that you prefer to be, that would be representative of the kind of people that would have been created by the true history. That is in alignment with who you truly are. That's what we mean by true history. Not that there is only one history that is true, but that it is the history that is true for who you prefer to be, vibrationally. Does this make sense?
Yes.
All right. And so?
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I had emailed a picture. It was like a phenomena that occurred in a picture where I had like a golden ring around my head.
Yes.
And sort of an overlapping entity bounced off of the golden ring. Could you explain that to me? That's one of the purposes I even discovered you, that this phenomenon, this picture happened.
Yes. Well, you are seeing the idea of the crown chakra. You understand? You're manifesting visibly the energy of the crown chakra in that image. Does this make sense to you? Or are you
Yes.
drawing a blank?
I do have some information on it, on a crown, but if you could explain further.
Well, the crown chakra is in the shape of a ring. Like a halo. Where do you think the image of the halo comes from?
Yes.
That's where it comes from. People that had the ability to actually see the energy of the crown chakra saw a ring around and above the head. And that's the way the energy flows, in the form of a torus. Now, above that, you have the form of an inverted cone, pointy at the bottom and expanding up to the top, because that's your connection through the crown chakra to the non-physical higher mind. But the first manifestation from the higher mind down to the receiver of the physical mind is that it manifests as a torus, a ring around your head. So, as we said earlier, through certain technological devices or by your own senses, you're going to start more and more of you seeing these kinds of manifestations of the energy that represent the energy systems of your consciousness.
What's the significance of the entity bouncing off it?
The idea of peering into the level where you can manifest visibility to those kinds of energies can also give you the ability to peer into the dimensions of spirit, and therefore you might have caught a glimpse of one of your guides hanging around, saying cheese.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does that help you?
Yes, yes.
All right.
When I was younger, I had experiences with basically extraterrestrials,
Yes.
but we didn't know what they were. We just thought
Yes, yes, yes.
there were things that just lived in the woods and stuff.
Well, there are things that live in the woods. Nevertheless,
Well, unnatural things. Anyway.
everything is natural. Everything is natural. There's actually no such thing as supernatural. It's just the nature you don't know about yet. Everything is natural.
Can you give me any insight on myself and the experiences we had?
Well, you
with
did
my
have
family
some extraterrestrial connective encounters. And you have encountered other things as well that might be called nature beings, nature spirits.
Well, how would you know if you ever been abducted? What would be an indicator of it?
An indicator of it would be asking if you've ever been abducted.
Okay, have I ever been abducted?
Thank you.
Have I ever been abducted?
Y-E-S.
Why, yes.
Y-E-S.
Oh. Never mind. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
I thought you were asking me why. I'm like, why?
I know. That's why we did it that way.
One more I got. I had a few experiences in my life where I think that I died or I should have died. Like I didn't.
In many cases, people do, and you have had at least one, as we can read your energy. The idea is that, again, you're always given a choice, and many times people will actually die, but be given a choice to continue the life in a parallel reality so similar that they think they just escaped somehow mysteriously, but they actually did die.
No, but this wasn't. This was not a mysterious escape. This was almost impossible. That I
That's
jumped into a
what we
wedge
mean.
wave. Into a wedge wave in
Yes,
Newport
that's
Beach.
what we mean.
Okay.
It seems like it couldn't be possible. What's the mystery? It couldn't be possible that I could have escaped death. The answer is, most likely, you didn't. But you were given a choice to continue, and you chose it. So sometimes you will remember the idea that seemed impossible for you to escape, and sometimes you won't. It just depends on what you choose.
Can you give any information on the Edgar Cayce Radiac? Have you ever heard of a Radiac device?
Define.
It's like an impedance device. You know, Edgar Cayce in readings,
We understand Edgar Cayce.
he recommended a couple thousand readings using what is called and referred to as a Radiac.
Generally speaking, yes, we're talking about the understanding that everything is based on resonance, on frequency, on vibration, and therefore you can make adjustments in the health of the body by finding the frequencies and imbuing or immersing a person in the frequencies that represent their natural state of health. You can also diagnose this way by understanding the different frequencies of different kinds of diseases like a map and reading them with such devices and then tuning the device in such a way as to mitigate that frequency and bring that area back into alignment.
Yes. Yes, that's the way he explained it too,
Yes.
to some extent.
So therefore, this is a technology that we understand many people on your planet are beginning to experiment with, and it will improve in what you call your future. Yes, and so? There's a reason for you asking this?
Yes.
Is this something you're interested in pursuing?
No, well, I use it now. Is that why I have the like supernatural experiences that I do have?
Have what?
Like everything's
what?
natural.
Thank you. We are becoming selectively deaf to certain terms.
You're really funny.
So we've been told. But really?
Yes.
You should see how many of us are always laughing at you.
Yeah, I can picture that.
You and all of you are some of the greatest entertainment in the galaxy.
Yes, it's true.
Nevertheless, follow your passion and experiment. Yes?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania.
So it's about 12:30. I have a couple of questions from Ustream listeners.
All
and
right.
If you'd like, we can pull a few more names also.
We will see.
Okay. First question had to do with the Anunnaki. You mentioned that we saw them as gods.
Yes.
And so the person wanted to know, what are the qualities of the Anunnaki that humans have?
The idea of inherent psychic abilities, telepathic abilities, the idea of shifting into the gamma frequency, the idea of out-of-body projection relatively easily, and many other traits, including certain kinds of relationships with or connections to vibrations that have to do with other star systems. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was also thinking of like our propensity to do genetic manipulation.
Yes, that is one of the traits that you learned. It is part of evolution that sometimes certain species will actually evolve another species. That's part of evolution. Some species are designed to do that. You have, in a sense, picked up some of that trait from your parents, if you wish to call them that.
What other things are it's something to do with our DNA turning on and...
Well, yes, the markers are within you, and because you're elevating your frequency, now those markers are turning on to allow you to experience more fluidity in space and time, in much the same way that they did.
And they purposely suppressed the markers, right?
Yes, they didn't need that in their helpers. But nevertheless, they're there,
Right.
and now they're turning on.
So who made the decision to have our DNA turned on, our markers turned on?
Well, it's a matter of synchronous encounters with beings such as the Greys that impact you or immerse you in other dimensional energies, which would then naturally turn those markers on.
So it wasn't a conscious decision, like it's time for the humans to have their markers turned on?
Yes, but that conscious decision came from the humans, your collective consciousness.
And without those markers turned on, what are the effects for the humans at this point?
I believe you are very familiar with those effects.
Yeah, like the lack of understanding about psychic
Lack
ability.
of compassion, lack of empathy, warfare, fear.
So basically, by the markers not being fully turned on, what's happened is that humans have a degree of suffering because they don't feel their deep connection to the cosmos and to everything.
Yes.
I know, that's very interesting.
Yes, it is. But now you are turning them on.
Thank goodness.
You are welcome.
And the other question was, what are the qualities of the do you have any updates on the fall of 2016?
I believe you are in the fall of 2016. Are there not great changes on the horizon coming up that you can see already with your eyes? Have there not been the beginnings of certain changes going on in your social, political, and economic structures? The precursors of these things? The beginnings, the first dominoes? Have you not begun to see them?
Yes.
All right. Then just keep watching.
Okay. That sounds exciting.
Yes?
Yes. So we have about 20 minutes till 1, and so should I pick some other names? Please? Pretty please.
With,
Sugar on top.
thank you. Go ahead and pick one. And we'll see if you can pick another after that.
All right. And the lucky person is Gavin Lim. Come on down.
Hi, Bashar. My question is about variations of gender expression and the new species of humans that you speak of coming through. Currently on the planet, there's a lot of anger and violence projected towards people who are not cisgendered. And I was wondering if you could speak to us about transgenderism and variations of gender expression and how we can better understand each other's differences. Within this, I'm also curious about this new species of human that you speak of coming through, and if in that evolution we are moving beyond the old understandings of sex and gender, and if we are collectively moving towards a more androgynous expression. Thank you so much.
To some degree, you are. You will not lose the idea of the genders, but you will be more allowing of the understanding that spirit is everything and nothing, and can be anything in physical terms. So the idea of transgender people is a way of showing humanity that it can actually choose what to be in a far wider range of expressions than it may have previously thought, that it is more fluid than it thinks, that it is more capable of expressing itself in a multitude of ways than previously thought. So therefore, you have to look at the idea that it is an expression of spirit, that spirit can be anything and everything, and it can serve humanity to be far more flexible in its understanding of what it can be.